Hey everyone, welcome back to another First Descendant video where I will be explaining my approach on battling against Deathstalker. So to explain Deathstalker's mechanics, he is like every other boss, will try to damage you, will be draining your health and whatnot, but his particular mechanic that makes him special is that he caps maximum HP. What I mean by that is, for example, let's say that you start out at 10,000 HP. He'll do some kind of attack which will later cap your HP to roughly 5,000 hit points. When that happens, let's say he does a normal Colossus-like attack and damages you a bit. You get knocked down to 2,500 hit points. You might try to restore some of that HP and find yourself only at 5,000. And that is what I mean by him capping your maximum HP. In order to more or less battle against this mechanic, or actually completely subvert it, we will be going with a shield-based Descendant. The shield-based Descendant that I have chosen is Enzo. If you look in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that I have 1 HP. This is due to a special mod I'll show you guys later on, but I have essentially subverted Deathstalker's mechanic of destroying my HP by converting it all into my shield. To put it another way, my total effective hit points have all been allocated to my shield rather than to the HP stat. That is the premise of my Enzo build. Now let's get into the more nitty gritty of everything. Let's start with his weapons. I primarily use Enduring Legacy on my Enzo, as well as Greg's Reverse Fate throughout the fight against Deathstalker. For my Enduring Legacy, here are the substats, the modules, Greg's Reverse Fate substats, the modules. As well, let's move on to the reactor. The good thing about Enzo's gun build, in particular against Deathstalker, is that the reactor mounting type, whether it's dimensional, singular, mechanic, anything, that does not matter whatsoever. We are not looking to boost Enzo's skill damage. The main part about the reactor is the substats. The skill cooldown and skill duration up. I highly recommend this, and I'll explain why later on. For the external components, you'll think it's a bit strange why I'm recommending you to get HP on every single one of his components, but it'll make sense once I actually go over Enzo's modules. So for Enzo's components, I recommend getting all main stat HP, particularly the maximum value that we've seen so far, 646. There are some other components that are roughly 400 HP, or purple components that are roughly 300 HP. I would highly recommend against getting those, but if you have to use them, then you have to use them. The main thing about these external components is the main stat should be HP, as I'm showing now. HP, HP, and the substats should be either HP or MP related. So you'll see I go back to the auxiliary power, it has HP on it. The sensor has MP substats, defense and MP recovery modifier. And then the last one, you can't really get MP related substats on the processor, but since this is a shield build, it will be optimal to get shield and shield recovery modifier. Alrighty, let's move on to the Descendant module and explain the magic of why I have this 26,000 max shield. Alright, so for Enzo's module, I do have an energy activator on him, as well as 5 total catalysts on him. So, the whole entire build is centered around one singular module, and that is Overwhelming Shield. If you read this, it says, fixes max HP at 1 and increases maximum shield by a certain percentage of your maximum HP. That is why it is important that we actually maximize the HP on the component sets. Funnily enough, why we focus in on that point is, if we build primarily shield main statted external components versus HP, we will end up having less effective hit points overall when fighting the boss. Meaning that 26,000 shield that you saw earlier, if I had did shield based external components, I would not have come close to that amount of shield. But besides that, that knocks out one module that we need to focus on. Now, I said at the beginning that I used 5 catalysts. One of them wasn't particularly dedicated to Overwhelming Shield, even though that's the main part of this build. But the other 4 were actually dedicated to 2 HP mods, Increase HP and Stim Accelerant, as well as 2 shield mods, Increase Shield, as well as HP Conversion. Having these essential 5 mods, these 2 HP, 2 shield, and Overwhelming Shield, that is what has led up to my Enzo having 26,000 HP. Now your other mods, I won't necessarily say they aren't essential, but these 5 mods I just mentioned are the bare minimum you'll need to survive against the Deathstalker boss fight. Now to explain why Enzo and why not other shield-based descendants like Kyle or Ajax or whatnot. I chose Enzo because of his third ability, which is Enhanced Combat Suit. This basically, as soon as you activate this ability, recovers 25% of your shield and begins to recover 6% bit by bit for a set duration. Now, this is why I mentioned that cooldown and duration on the reactor were important, and if you have room or if you want to invest in Enzo further than 4 or 5 catalysts, you can really start to see where your priorities lie, and that is within cooldown reduction and duration. So you'll see that my cooldown and duration actually match each other, which is funnily enough. You can add more cooldown in the form of other combat related mods that which boost tech skill power or dimension skill power and have a negative skill cooldown effect as well. So if I type in tech skill, you'll see a mod like Focus on Tech. You'll notice that on here there's skill cooldown minus 6.1%. The reason why I bring these type of mods up is, of course, you're probably going to see the first basic cooldown mods like Nimble Fingers or MP Conversion and think, why don't I pull on those? I'm just saying, if you would like to have even more cooldown so you can spam your shield recovery even faster, you have other options like these battle or attack related mods. Otherwise, you can kind of see on my applied value, I have where my build is going, where I am maxing out the HP to 400%, shield to 300%, my cooldown reduction is negative 62.1%. As well, you'll notice that my max MP is a bit funky, and that is primarily because of MP conversion as well as Stim Accelerant subtracting my maximum MP. Now this does hurt you in terms of Enzo's ability to spam his 3 ability, but that's why, for my own comfort, I actually put on Enlightenment, which adds on a max MP of 15.2%, which overall, these 2 mods I mentioned earlier, they both subtract 15%, so it ends up negating one of those 2 mods effects on the negative side of things. Otherwise, the other things that help to make Enzo a great part of the boss fight against Deathstalker is that he is a team-based Descendant, where you can put on a Transcendent mod like Supply Firearm Enhancer, which will boost not only your weak point damage and firearm critical hit rate up, but also your teammates. As well, you can also think about Enzo's 4th ability, which helps to replenish ammunition for not only yourself, but your other teammates. And that is actually just a basic overview of why Enzo is a great Descendant, and why he's a great Descendant against the latest boss, Deathstalker. Alrighty, I just wanted to bring you this not so short guide, but that's enough yapping, and that'll be it. The next few seconds will be gameplay. Alright, thanks guys. They're running away. They're running away. Fine. Look. He put down the little things. This is big. just me, or do I feel like I'm the only one? How much actual health did I get? 77 million.